You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Black and White sports fans, let's talk about Rich Paul, the friend and agent of one LeBron James. He has come out now and he's made some controversial statements about race, mainly talking about white American athletes in professional sports. And he's probably talking mainly about the NBA. So we're going to be talking about that in this video, folks, because this did not sit very well with me. It seems like, people that associate with LeBron James, they only see race. Race 24 hours a day, man. Race baiting all the time. Now, Rich Paul, I respect his hustle, man. This is a man that grew up selling throwback jerseys out of the back of his car. And he was making something like $10,000 a week. I respect the hustle. And now he's running Clutch Sports, a multi-million-dollar company. But the statements he made, folks, is disgusting. It really is. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about that here in this video, guys. NBA agent Rich Paul says white American athletes don't want a black agent. Yes, sir, he actually did say that. But let's look here. Rich Paul has become one of the most powerful agents in the NBA via his own abilities, maneuvering, and of course his close friendship with LeBron James. He believes there is a significant group of athletes that don't want to work with him, though. Why, you say? Because he is black. But we're going to be getting into that. He actually gave an interview with the New York Times here. And this is what he said. Paul said, "It's very difficult for me to represent a white player. I expressed surprise that this was the case. It just is. Look around. There's very few," he said. "I represent a player from Bosnia, but again, he's international. He looks at it different." Okay, so this is where he's getting at just the white American, okay? So white players who are American don't want a black agent? I asked him. He says this. "They'll never say that," Paul answered, cracking a smile. "But they don't. I think there's always going to be that cloud over America." Now it says here the Bosnian player Yusuf Nuric of the Portland Trail Blazers, that's who signed with Paul back in 2019. Wow, man. So people associated with one LeBron James, this is what you get. You get the race card. 24 hours a day, man. 24 hours a day. I don't know what goes through the mind of people that associate with LeBron James at all. But this is ridiculous, guys, because he runs Clutch Sports. Clutch Sports here made over $58 million in commission. I believe this was as of 2020. Mainly focusing on basketball and football. They have about 50 clients and about $1.68 billion in contracts. Now, here's the thing, guys. Basketball and football are predominantly all black when it comes to players. So he's negotiating contracts for the players. 80% of these players are going to be black. So when it comes to the white athlete, it's going to be slim pickings to begin with anyway. Now, I was trying to see if he actually branched out to MLB, hockey, some other stuff. I don't think so. I think he's just predominantly NBA for the most part, because if you look at his clients here, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Ben Simmons, Trae Young, John Wall, Eric Bledsoe, Draymond Green, all these players, man, are mostly all NBA players. I couldn't even find any NFL players who he actually does represent. Now you can see Nurkic right there with the Portland Trail Blazers right there. So I'm not buying into this race card BS that he's putting out there. And the thing is, he offered no evidence whatsoever that a white athlete did not want to be represented by a black agent. He didn't. So I want to know, what proof do you actually have? Just don't make statements, Rich Paul, without any evidence. But this is a man that signs with LaChina James, same LaChina James that spews lies all the time, that says black people are being hunted down by the police. And the evidence does not show that whatsoever. So I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that Rich Paul actually said something like this. You know, I guess he's just trying to piggyback off of the woke sports mantra that's been going on, for the last year or so, because this falls directly in line with all of that. Everything has to be about race. Every single thing. And he said it right there. White athletes will never admit that they do not want a black agent. But however, he even said for the most part, black athletes too, they get white agents as well. So why is he only spewing the race card on one end and not the other? I mean, I just don't get that. Because it says here, after saying many black athletes are reluctant to sign with a black agent, Paul said it was much more the case with their white counterparts. So even with the black athletes, he didn't even offer a good reason for that. Maybe there's a stereotype out there that black agents can't negotiate, but I don't believe that's the case. Rich Paul clearly has been successful with clutch sports. So why is he saying something like this stupid? I just don't understand it, man. I really, really do not understand it. But like I said, he associates himself with LaChina James. So everything has to be black and white. He offers no context whatsoever to make a statement like this. This is why, the NBA is a dying brand, because it's all about putting out lies like this. I'm very disappointed with Rich Paul. I respect his hustle, man, selling throwback jerseys out of the trunk of his car and then making a bunch of money off of it. I respect that hustle. But now he's playing the race card. This is what the woke NBA does. This is what LeBron James does. This is what woke sports does in general, man. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this, black and white sports fans? What do you guys think of Rich Paul and his comments speaking for all white athletes? They don't want a black agent. I find this to be wildly, wildly dumb. He can't speak for all white people. This is a false narrative. We don't know what's the deal with this. Everybody's an individual, man. Everybody is an individual. I don't believe all white people are like this, but he even said black athletes for the most part. He even made assumptions there. They don't want black athletes either. Black agents, I should say, either. This is ridiculous. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to Black and White Sports, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.